Hello, and unfortunately, welcome back to another Second Opinion. As always, I'm Charlie, and this time we'll be talking more about the game Fallout 4. For those of you unfamiliar with Second Opinion, this is where I essentially give a second round of thoughts on a game I've played in hour one. Generally, this is reserved for if I thought a game got worse, repetitive, or turned out a lot better than I initially thought it was going to be in the hour one. As I mentioned, this time we'll be talking about Fallout 4, so we're venturing into slightly dangerous territory because that game is popular as hell. Now, before I get going, I want to say I'm a big fan of Fallout 4. It is a really good game with some issues. And in my hour one, I was nothing but positive about the game, and where I talked about things like improvements from Fallout 3 and New Vegas to Fallout 4, those were relatively true. But the first hour of Fallout 4 I got to play may have been the greatest hour of video gaming I've ever had. And literally within a half hour of the alarm going off and continuing on with the plot and playing more of the game, some Bethesda open world problems started to pop up almost immediately. And it the first hour was amazing. I stand by it's one of the most amazing hours of gaming I've had. So much happened that hour. So many revelations happened. Like the gameplay was fantastic. It was this nice, tight, not streamlined, but well-crafted opening to a game. And I may have fallen victim of that. More things happened in the first hour of the game in some ways than I've gotten to happen consecutively in the rest of the game. Don't get me wrong, there's quests and missions that are really full of excitement and really awesome moments, but they're fewer and far between. Where I was super excited about the pacing and just how much had happened in the first hour of the game. The reality of Fallout 4 is it is another Bethesda open world game, meaning there's lots of wandering around, fast travel is your friend, be prepared to save a lot because you're going to randomly die, and in general, you're going to spend a lot of time doing more or less the same things over and over and over and managing inventory, which again is not a bad thing. The game itself is really good. The story I'm a fan of still. I care less about it than I did initially. I'm much less enthusiastic about it because, well, once I got out in the wasteland, I started doing a bunch of other stuff, and that sidetracks you. The open worldness of this game, in many ways, is at odds with the fact that the story is kind of interesting. The major plot of finding your son is a cool one in theory, and given the breadth and things to do, you will lose track of that. And kind of, I accidentally wound up back into doing that because I heard some things you could go and get gear wise if you did more of the story missions. And this isn't all a bad thing. Like that, this is the Bethesda open world game formula. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you're new to it, you're probably trying it out. What I want to talk more about is the fact that we deserved a little bit better with this game. Within that first half hour after I kind of finished up the hour one, I had a whole slew of technical issues. Hell, I've had the dog just vanish from the game for literal days, real world days, and then only show up when a quest required him. I've had weapons glitch. I've had a couple quests glitch. The weirdest one I've had so far was I was walking along and suddenly my character just kind of flew off into the air and then crashed down on the literal other side of the Fallout 4 map. I died instantly, but just I don't know what happened, but I was suddenly literally thrown up into the air, and obviously you die when you fall from that height. Other things like I've had guys die, then come back to life in firefights. The gun control is good, but I've heard a lot of people talking about how it's like Destiny or Halo or Call of Duty. It's not. It is heads and shoulders above the gunplay we're used to in the Fallout franchise, but it's only really approaching the level of decent shooter. It's not. It is high-end mediocre shooter. There's some number systems going on in the background you're fighting some. Weird things like I have a pistol that does more damage than a sniper rifle does with a headshot because reasons, apparently. Just little things like that are built into the RPG system that get in the way of the shooting are much more of a problem this time around because they've really messed with how VATS works. Now, initially I was okay with VATS not being the world-freezing power move it was in the original Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and I'm not so okay with that. What I loved about VATS was it overcame the really, really bad controls of the previous Fallout games, and but still brought forward than some of the kind of turn-based elemental strategy from Fallout 1 and 2. It was a nice melding of the two. Now the world slows, which makes it less of the tactical one and more of the I really need to get this thing in the head or the arm mode. And because the shooting is good enough, you don't need it as often as you did in the previous titles because the shooting is actually functional. At least the way I've been playing the game, it's very much a oh crap, I'm screwed moment and not this enjoyable sensation it used to be. There's also some more number systems going on where it just feels less reliable. I've had so many quite obvious easy shots happen that just went wide for no apparent reason, and that all sucks. And I guess the overarching issue I have with the game is there's tons of stuff there that the game just never explains. There's armor crafting, there's gun crafting, hell, there's town crafting that the game kind of says, yep, you can do that, and never fully explains ever again. The number of times I've unwittingly upgraded the same gun with the same upgrade on different versions of that gun 5 or 6 times because there was no way of telling what was what in a quick way. In general, seems interfacing with this game is god-awful. Moving about the menus is bad, inventory management is bad, knowing what you have and what you don't have material-wise doesn't work out. It's across the board, just user interface with anything that's not traversal. Even traversal's not great, but just the shooting and getting from point A to point B could use a lot of work. Like, hell, I've heard about mods that are going through and fixing the voice system and how you filter items and all that stuff, which it's great that exists, but I'm playing this on the PS4 where it's relatively stable. I've heard the PC one can have some, game-breaking bugs, and this is just unacceptable. And yeah, I want to love this game as much as I did. It's literally gone from holy crap, this game is amazing to yeah, this game's pretty good to yeah, the game's good. It's got some real problems, and they all stem from just a lack. There's so much to do in the open world. I'm sure it just throws off some other things. We shouldn't be having weird Bethesda physics weirdness happen. Skyrim had to work on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and it didn't work so well on the PS3, which is a whole separate topic, but the difference between a PC and the console at the time was somewhat excusable. I'm not saying PCs aren't more powerful than the consoles, but they should have fixed stuff like people's faces turning into rubber when the textures don't load. There was a town I went to where the facial textures didn't fully load, so I had, eye sockets and faces, but nothing that showed any detail, and it was super creepy, kind of weird ventriloquist stuff, and you had to have ongoing conversations, and just suddenly everything loaded back in, and again, I'm playing on the console, which means it in theory is more stable than a PC, but yeah, there's just so many problems with this game that it goes from being, if I were to give scales to things, it goes from being a near-perfect game in some ways to a 3 out of 5, because it's got some real, just technical issues that get in the way. Frame rate problems happen all the time. I've had the game go from a solid 30, I think, down to 2 in combat that then got me killed because you can't do combat if stuff is jumping around the map and you can't shoot at it. Yeah, I love Fallout 4. I'm still playing it. I've played easily 30, 40 hours of it. I'm having so much fun with the game. But I'm also actively kind of just accepting that the game will glitch and I'll die. A grenade will come from nowhere. A raider shot that shouldn't do half my health bar will do half of my health bar. A gun that I'm aiming directly at something, I'll hit something 5 times, and the damage will take 2 seconds to register kind of thing. It's little gripes like that normally if they were just by themselves wouldn't bug me, but all added up together become a kind of sizable complaint. The game, it has amazing visual polish. It's a major upgrade from the previous entries that Bethesda's done in its open world, but it's still not quality control. I get you can't fully quality control a game like this, but maybe you fill the world with less stuff next time and get it all to work better. I've fallen through the map. I've had companions fall through the map. Like I said, Dogmeat just vanished, and he only kind of randomly shows up. I've had guns say they had no ammo and they had ammo. I've just had a bunch of technical issues. I'm quick saving like a crazy person because I don't know when the next weird thing's gonna happen, and that really sucks. I'm really enjoying Fallout 4. I really, really am. But if you're on the fence still, if you're thinking about this game, beware, it's got some issues. And they're not necessarily end-of-the-world issues, but I've heard a lot of magazines saying it's just as good on the shooting front as Destiny, as I mentioned earlier, or the best game ever, and it's not. The best game ever is yet to be made. Destiny or Call of Duty or Halo may still be the best shooting out there on a console kind of thing. I can't speak to PC because you can kind of make any game the best shooter in those cases. This is a damn solid and fun game with some real glaring technical issues that if you can get past, you'll enjoy a really solid game. And while a lot of these issues do apply just to consoles, PC has its own set of issues. Like the fun you can have with modding and the command line can totally screw your game up, apparently. And this just always goes back to my comment of we deserve a little bit better. Like, I'm not saying we deserve a game that works perfectly. We kind of do, but we can't expect that because, again, quality testing this would be insane. But maybe build a game where shooting works reliably, or I'm not stuck quick saving all the time, or at least the majority of deaths that happen feel fair, or I at least don't go flying off into the sky at random to plummet to my death hundreds of in-game miles away. I feel like these aren't big things to ask for, and I feel like the fact that they managed to improve everything and add new issues in is really telling of this game. I'm not telling you not to buy Fallout 4, but be prepared for some issues. It's a damn fine game, like I said. I'm really enjoying it still. But yeah, it's got problems.
Something Wicked Studios.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up down below, you share us with all your friends, and you subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for more videos right now, we've got a whole bunch of ones all over the channel you can get to by the links below. If you hit the random button, I promise to send you to a good one. You know you want to. Press it. Press it.